News Talk 1130, WISN.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Donald Trump has now been convicted of 34 different felony crimes.
On fire, former President Trump's campaign rally in Butler County. Investigators calling it a possible assassination attempt.
I proudly accept your nomination for president.
President Biden has just announced that he is ending his re-election bid.
There's been another assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
Thank you for joining us for tonight's ABC News presidential debate.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
Early voting kicked off today.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
It never gets old, ladies and gentlemen, hearing that it's morning in America again. Welcome to the Dan O'Donnell Show. I'm Dan, happier than I've been in quite some time. Not just because we have indeed taken our country back with a resounding victory, not just in the Electoral College, but with 5 million votes in the popular vote. Oh, man, it feels good. But you know what's really giving me life today? The fact that liberals are just not handling this at all. Jam-packed show today as we continue to rationally and analytically look at what were the factors that led to this fundamental realignment in American politics. This was not just an election where one candidate or one set of ideas, one political party beat another. This was a fundamental shift in the body politic, and I dare say a fundamental shift in America's cultural outlook as well. According to the left, though, it's just about a bunch of racist Latinos deciding that they were so misogynistic as well that they didn't actually want to vote for a woman. That's the Morning Joe take, and we will have all of your best liberal reactions as well as a brand new segment we are debuting here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. TDS meltdowns. Trump derangement syndrome should actually be classified as a mental illness at this point, and we have been here at the Dan O'Donnell Show compiling. We have been spending hours, nay, days, compiling the very best liberal freakouts from across the internet, TikTok, Twitter, X, wherever they are. We have found them, and throughout the next couple of days, hell, we will go weeks if we had to, because those liberal tears are sustaining me right now. The meltdowns are giving me life throughout the day today and tomorrow as well. The very best TDS Trump meltdowns from across the internet. I guarantee you will be laughing as much as I am. So be sure to listen to those coming up at 10 o'clock Central, about an hour from right now. President Biden is going to address the nation. He is expected to talk about the fact that he's looking forward to all the great things he's going to do in his second term. He's looking forward to 4 more years of Bidenomics. Yes, I do believe that President Biden actually thinks he won the election. I'm not sure they told him he wasn't actually running. Don't worry, Democrats are blaming Biden as well for actually deciding to run for a second term. Is there some validity to that? Perhaps. I actually am one who believes that Biden would have been smoked by an even bigger margin than Kamala Harris. Fundamentally, it was just too big of an ask for the American people to vote for somebody with obvious cognitive decline at 81 years old. It just was not going to happen. It was reflected in all the polling. And I'm starting to believe what the initial thought that I had was, based on conversations with people who know such things on both the right and the left when Biden dropped out, that putting Kamala Harris in there wasn't a white flag per se, but it was much more about salvaging some of the down ballot races, which it turned out it didn't work because this was such a realignment election. So we'll get into that. We will have Biden's address. I'm not sure. I've got to talk to the powers that be if we're going to carry it in its entirety when it starts. That would require a whole lot of juggling. Producer Dave is saying, no, we're not going to carry it. This is I think, relatively important. He is, in theory, still the president of the United States. I feel like we should probably carry what it is he has to say. Then again, Kamala was 20 minutes late to her own concession speech yesterday. So punctuality is not the hallmark of the American political left. So when he says it's going to happen at 10 o'clock, it's probably going to be closer to about 10:25. Before we get into anything, however, a chance for you to win $1,000 Fall Fortune Cash Contest. Win a grand by entering the word grand, G-R-A-N-D, grand, to our website. Just go to our website. There is a pop-up right there. Enter the keyword grand, and you will win $1,000. Be by your phone. You will get a phone call at some point before 10:15 from a restricted number or no caller ID number. We've heard from a number of winners here on the Dan O'Donnell Show that say you're going to get a call from somebody whose phone number doesn't show up, most likely on your phone. Be sure to answer it. It's probably us telling you that you have won $1,000 instantly. If you would like to join the Dan O'Donnell Show, phone calls, texts, whatever it is, 414-799-1130. Reach us toll free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me directly, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, where we are streaming live via the Dan O'Cam. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show. Please do retweet the live stream on X. Make sure you share, because we do not have nearly the reach that we should on Facebook. I'm taking a wild guess. This is for obvious reasons, that there is some suppression going on of our live stream. Share it so that it shows up on as many of your friends' timelines as possible, especially if you have a lot of liberal friends, because we are going to have some fun with these epic Trump meltdowns throughout the day today. And, of course, our YouTube channel. Just search for Dan O'Donnell Show. And, as always, please do subscribe to our podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right. Should we just get it started right away? I can't sit here and tease the epic Trump meltdowns without. I am like a kid on Christmas morning. Christmas morning for me was not when I actually got to, and Dave, I never got to thank you publicly. I never got to thank you at all, by the way, for allowing me to be the one to announce that we can project that Donald Trump has won the presidency of the United States. I had to be the guy who in 2020 announced that Biden was likely going to win. In 2018 and 2022, that Tony Evers had won Wisconsin's governorship, that we had lost the Wisconsin Supreme Court a year ago, because on election nights, I'm typically the guy who's crunching the numbers and getting the projections and doing all of this. So, Dave, thank you so much for getting to be the one who says, well, so, okay, we're coming back from commercial break on election night. Dave wants me to give you all context. We're coming back from break on election night, and I was actually on the phone with Joe Handrick. He is the Republican Party's data guy, who, by the way, he was working for Assembly Republicans and trying to model their races, meaning he was trying to get an idea of where the votes were coming from. His models were so staggeringly accurate. Because he was working for a private client, he couldn't legally show, or he couldn't, according to the terms of his contract, show me or any of his other friends in the media any of his models that he was putting together for the Assembly Republicans to show like where they needed to campaign, where they needed canvass, all this stuff. He showed me the results afterwards. He compared in the top 10 races that Republicans had targeted. He showed me his models of what the electorate was going to look like, what the final vote was going to look like. He was shockingly accurate. When I say Joe Handrick is the best numbers guy in Wisconsin, I mean it. So I'm on the phone with him. Dave comes kind of rushing out. He's like, they called Pennsylvania. Fox just called Pennsylvania. I said, Joe, gotta go. Bye. Peace. This is how election night coverage and calls go, by the way. You're talking with people, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, this happened. Gotta go. Bye. And everybody just kind of accepts it, right? Like I talk to campaign people. It'll be like, oh, yeah, you know, things are going great. Dan, I got to go. Bye. Click. And everybody's just like, okay, yep, that's how it goes. We race back in. As soon as Fox called Pennsylvania, they had not yet called Georgia or Arizona or North Carolina. But the votes were there. As soon as there was a call in Pennsylvania, I felt comfortable saying we can now project that Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. A feeling of relief, not joy, not euphoria like in 2016, just washed over me like nothing I had felt in a long, long time. It felt for the first time in like 3 weeks that my chest wasn't tight, my breathing wasn't shallow, that I wasn't having a mild heart attack for about the past month. So we announced that Trump had won, but that didn't feel like Christmas morning to me. Ladies and gentlemen, what feels like Christmas morning to me is right now, and instead of presents, I'm getting liberal tears. Here, the first in a recurring series, another epic Trump meltdown.
If this guy does end up winning again, all of the people who voted for him will be like happy and they'll just be celebrating. And everyone else, everyone who feels threatened by him is fucking scared. Like we're scared for our lives. We're scared for our friends. Like you have pro-life women dying because their doctors are scared to treat them because of the repercussions of his last presidency. How did we get here? How did we get here? To know that there is that much ignorance and that much hate in this country, it's so terrifying. It's so terrifying.
It's terrifying. It is so terrifying. We will have epic Trump meltdowns throughout the day today here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. One of them even came from a late night talk show host who had to fight back tears. I'll let you guess which one that was. When they're talking about racism and misogyny, it's not just the usual suspects anymore. It is now Black and Latino men who went to Trump in record numbers. Now, it couldn't possibly be because that Black and Latino men, just like Black and Latino women and white women and white men, all feel the same economic pressure caused by the gross fiscal mismanagement of the Biden-Harris administration, the fact that nobody can afford groceries or rent anymore, and that this has sort of radicalized a whole lot of people who were never before Republicans, or it couldn't possibly be that this is part of a growing trend that we've seen with more minority voters because of targeted outreach by the Republican Party going to the conservative movement. It couldn't be because of Ronald Reagan's famous saying 40 years ago, Latinos are all conservative. They just don't know it yet. It couldn't be any of those things. It has got to be that Black and Latino men are racist and misogynistic. I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing on Morning Joe. Joe Scarborough brought in none other than the Reverend Al to chastise minorities for being racist and sexist.
I just say, Rev, really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men. Right. It's misogyny from Black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a Black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and Black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with Black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and
of,
with other Hispanics. You've got some that don't like each other. And some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from Black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations about it.
Real honest conversations.
Real honest conversations about why Democrats lost is because black men, you are just so sexist and so stupid. That is another growing theme that I'm hearing in leftist discourse post-presidential election, that you don't know what's good for you. You just can't handle a woman leading you. You can't handle a woman of color leading you. I love this. Latinos are racist against other Latinos. Folks, this is giving me life. We will analyze this and get to some real trends, plus Donald Trump building his cabinet, and Kamala Harris finally concedes. Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. I've been a big proponent of Lynch for a while now. Here's why. They're literally a family dealership and have been since 1957. That's increasingly rare in the dealership world today, but the Lynch family employs 500 plus people who are all dedicated to taking care of you. They've got a wide selection of new and used vehicles, extended service department hours for early drop-offs and late pickups, and most importantly, they're proud supporters of our local communities and schools. They also stand behind what they sell with Lynch-certified used vehicles, including a 168-point inspection to determine eligibility, an unparalleled 90-day or 3,000-mile certified guarantee, and a 10-day 500-mile exchange policy. And when you pair this with the Lynch Protected program, they cover your paint, your windshield, and your tires. It's easy to see why you should consider Lynch. Check them out today at shoplynch.com.
We're the Libby family
at Do-It-Yourself Bathroom Center near State Fair on 62nd and Greenfield.
For over 41 years, we've helped Wisconsin folks create beautiful, affordable, and durable bathrooms.
You'll get our expert guidance and long-lasting quality products.
And nobody beats our prices.
I did it myself at Do-It-Yourself.
Are you going to the big store to remodel your home? 1 minute they're pruning roses. The next, recommending countertops. Yikes! Discover affordable beauty at Granite Plus. Visit with friendly experts. Granite, Cambria, cabinets and flooring. Endless colors and designs. Custom creations just for you. Skip the hassle. Visit the showroom at Granite Plus in New Berlin today. All affordable, all professional, with 0% financing available. Granite Plus. Better design, service, value.
You know, I'm a gun guy, Second Amendment guy, and I want to tell you about a family-owned company that I just love. It's Henry Repeating Arms. Now, they make more than 200 models of rifles, shotguns, revolvers right here in America. The quality's so good, they have a lifetime guarantee. The craftsmanship and smooth action, they are top-notch. I speak from experience. Every Henry I own, accurate right out of the box. They've all been reliable ever since. The best way to learn about Henry, get their free catalog. They'll send you free decals and a list of dealers where you are and a great newsletter. Just go to henryusa.com. That's one word, henryusa.com. Click on the free catalog button. It's in the upper right-hand corner. And they even donate to our military and veterans and law enforcement and first responders, children's hospitals, families with sick kids. They do it all. And also Guns for Great Causes programs. Anyway, go to henryusa.com. Get your free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are. henryusa.com.
Here's why money, Warshevsky.
Taking on the issues that the rest of the media fear. Mark Belling. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6. There's only one. News Talk 1130 WISN. Conservative thought. Not just talk. This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Welcome back to it. All of you garbage deplorables, including, you know, and folks, we have seen this in our listenership too, including all of you racist black listeners and Latinos too, all of you misogynists who just couldn't handle a woman president. It never ceases to amaze me how racist leftists get when minority voters don't do what they want. This is really a long-standing trend, and we have seen this in a lot of our listenership, that we are getting far more diverse. We have more women listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, more women as part of Dan Nation, black listeners and viewers on social media. It's because people are increasingly understanding that conservatism isn't an an exclusive political philosophy. It is very inclusive. Ultimately, what we all believe are the shared values of liberty, industriousness, hard work, prosperity as a result of said hard work, family, community, the things that America was built on, independent of an overreaching federal government. In fact, I've actually been reading a lot of the Federalist Papers. My daughter got me a Hamilton calendar for Christmas last year, and I've had it on my desk ever since. Small hint to Gracie, if she's listening, and I hope she's not because she should be at school right now, the Hamilton 2025 calendar would be a fantastic gift. Not only do they have, lines from the musical and things like that, but they've got excerpts from the Federalist Papers that Hamilton wrote. So each day you get a part of a Federalist paper, and I've actually been each day, whenever I have a little bit of time, which is not all the time, reading the various Federalist Papers that are highlighted on the calendar. And a theme emerges that the founders envisioned a strong federal government to the extent that the federal government would exist to essentially serve as a backup to the states. They understood, the founders did, that the Articles of Confederation following Shays' Rebellion meant that the federal government was going to be too weak to be able to put down such rebellions or to be able to effectively govern this confederation of states. But ultimately, we are a confederation of states because they recognize that government exists only because the people consent for government to exist. Government can't lord over them like a king because the people are the ones to hold the power. So the Constitution ultimately reserves all power to the people except that which the people voluntarily delegate to the government. Over the last 120, 130 years, America went from a weaker central government, and I believe the direct result of this was from the implementation of the income tax in 1916, I believe, that allowed the federal government to just take in so much money that it grew exponentially in the age of what became known as the imperial presidency, sort of culminating with FDR, how he just ran roughshod over Congress. And this is something that is never really abated. I mean, think about the overwhelming power that the federal government has now. The founders never envisioned millions and millions and millions of federal employees. What people are realizing is that the strength of America, as sort of envisioned by and embodied by Donald Trump, and this is why his personal story is so incredibly seductive to people, is that he is the American dream. Now, Democrats try to, well, his father had money and he just inherited his father's business. Yeah, how do you think generational wealth is built? Mom and dad come to this country, they start a little, taco stand. They start a small little consulting business. They buy a gas station that gets handed on to the second generation, to the third, to the fourth. Half of my advertisers, Lynch Automotive, Mander Collision, Built Right Furniture, they say it right in the ads. Fourth generation, 96 or 97 years strong for the family at Built Right. And every single family member, all hands on deck. People relate to that. People see that as the American dream. Trump is sort of the embodiment of that. And not only that, what he's talking about with making America great again is removing that almost Orwellian government control over our lives to reharness the industriousness and hard work of the American people, to put more money in their hands in the form of tax relief, to reduce the burden of governmental red tape. That was entirely his first term's agenda. One of the very first things he did, while the press was all hysterical about his so-called Muslim ban, was dramatically reduce the bureaucratic state. Now he's talking about another guy who is the embodiment of the American dream, an immigrant himself, who founds PayPal, who buys Tesla and turns it into something that, folks, people thought an electric car was so impossible. Liberals actually made a documentary maybe 20 years ago called Who Killed the Electric Car? That it was some sort of conspiracy by the big auto manufacturers that we couldn't get an electric car done. Well, all it took was a visionary who made electric cars cool, who made them a status symbol, who made them economically effective, who made them work. Not only that, this guy found SpaceX, where we saw a modern marvel. We saw something that, unless your brain is so warped by Trump and Musk derangement syndrome, should have filled you with awe. The fact that not only did this guy and his team and his company put a rocket into space, not only did they bring it back to, they caught it. A tower caught a rocket like it was a bear claw machine at an arcade. That's stunning. And now this guy is likely going to be in charge of government efficiency, telling President Trump, okay, how do we better get government out of people's way? This is something that appeals to everyone regardless of race. Democrats have been so blind about putting people in demographic racial boxes. And I think one of the most poisonous ideologies is this DEI, is this notion that somehow, well, because of nothing about you as an individual, nothing about you, but only because of who you are as a race, an ethnicity, a gender, sexuality, you might need a little boost because this other group here who you should really be hating, they're keeping you down because of all their racism and their sexism and their misogyny. People reject that. People say, wait a second, this takes away my agency as an individual. You're telling me because of systemic racism, I am a hardworking, brilliant guy who just got a 1,400 on his ACTs or his SATs, just got a 35 out of 36 on the ACT. You're telling me that I can't make it in college but for the affirmative action programs and DEI education that's going to give me an artificial leg up. People reject that because at its heart, it's racist. Trump's fundamental idea, okay, is that truly all conservatism is, all conservative populism as embodied by and espoused by Donald Trump is Americanism. All it is a return to the founding values that made this country great in the first place. And not just great, unique in all of world history. I don't think people understand how miraculous America as founded really was, how revolutionary. It wasn't just a revolution against the British Empire. It was a revolution against the world order as it has existed since the dawn of civilization, that some people are just born into the right to rule over others. America took a sledgehammer to that, took a musket to that idea and said, no, the consent of the governed is the only thing of any real value in forming government. So when we talk about a realignment, we talk about almost like a great reawakening of people recognizing that, hey, wait a second. We're in America, and what America stands for is us, is our ability to do whatever we can within reason, within basic laws and a framework that American society puts on us. There are just baseline limitations on your behavior, but within those limitations, you can use whatever gifts God has given you or whatever gifts that you have created for yourself through education, through hard work, through experience in a given craft to make as much money as humanly possible. The profit motive in this country, the ability to advance your social standing and that of your family is the greatest motivator in human history. And Trump is a living example of how that can happen. Trump stands there as an example. My God, you can be a billionaire real estate investor. You can build skyscrapers in America. You can go on TV and be the biggest TV star in the world. then you can be president. When everybody laughs in your face and tells you it's impossible. Trump said in 2016, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's impossible. The night before he was elected, he's at a big rally in Michigan. He ended all three of his campaigns with big rallies and is at East Lansing, Michigan, somewhere in Michigan. He's ended all three rallies. Grand Rapids. You're right, Dave. It was Grand Rapids, Michigan. He apparently turned to Mike Pence and looks out at the crowd and said, Mike, this doesn't feel like second place to me. He was right. All of that is an embodiment of the American dream. Elon Musk, all of his life is the embodiment of for an immigrant, for someone who came here from South Africa. And what does the left say? What does the left say? Well, they're racist. They've only succeeded because of misogyny. Elon Musk bought Twitter, and the billionaire Musk bought the election for Trump. My God, how many pictures did Democrat politicians take with George Soros's kid, Alex, for goodness sakes? There were something like 43 different billionaires who were supporting Kamala Harris's campaign. Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, you think he's a giant Trumper? People being able to dream that they can be the next Bezos, the next Musk, the next Gates, the next Trump is what Trump was telling them. Make America great again. Make America again a place where everyone can see. How is it possible that liberals don't understand that that is a message that resonates? Not, well, you can't do this because America is such a systemically racist and misogynistic place that look at Kamala Harris. She could never get elected because of all the systemic racism and misogyny. No, she couldn't get ahead because she was fundamentally unprepared. She was a poor candidate, and Democrats ran a poor race. All right, we will have more on this coming up next. Plus, I promise you, more epic Trump meltdowns after the break here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. You got to get to Built Right today. Dan O'Donnell here for my amazing friends at Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattresses. Built Right's Veterans Day sale and Black November deals and $1 million clearance sell-off are on now. Shop where the O'Donnell family shops, 4 generations, 96 years strong. Now is the time to support Built Right, a locally and family-owned business since 1928. Built Right has the most experienced team and best selection of affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses. Be ready for your holiday guests with thousands of furniture and mattress items in stock, including living room, dining room, bedroom, sleeper sofas, lift chairs, recliners, and much, much more. 60 models of USA-made mattresses, including flippable and heavy-duty models. Gift certificates are available, too. Built Right always saves you money. Shop Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Make sure to tell them Dan sent you to Built Right at 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
Whether you're a winter fanatic or a spring enthusiast, Door County offers activities you'll love, and Pheasant Park Resort offers a special you'll really love. Book 2 nights and get a 3rd night free. Good through May 16th. Enjoy winter, spring, or book a stay for both seasons. Ice skating, snowmobiling, cross-country skiing, ice fishing and sledding, or golf, boating, fishing, hiking, biking. Sister Bay and Door County has you covered. And Pheasant Park Resort has your 3rd night covered. Visit pheasantparkresort.com to reserve.
When you pull into your driveway, do you love the way your home looks? If you don't, we want to help. Hi, Colleen from Tri-County Contracting. You can absolutely transform your home with new siding. Whether it's insulated vinyl siding or LP Smart Side, we can give your house the upgrade you desire. LP Smart Side is engineered wood siding with a lifetime product warranty and a 30-year paint warranty. We can tear off your maintenance heavy cedar siding or old aluminum or vinyl siding and replace it with LP Smart Side. It fits with any style home and is more affordable than you think. We have many options and colors on display in our new Berlin showroom at 18500 West National Avenue. New siding gives your house amazing curb appeal. A beautiful custom Provia front entry door is also a way to upgrade your home. If you need one window or many windows or a new patio door, we can help with that too. For 46 years, Tri-County Contracting has been helping Southeast Wisconsin homeowners just like you. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting.
Dan O'Donnell here. It's This Week with Annex Wealth Management. Dave Spano, the CEO of Annex, joins me. And this week, no surprise what we're talking about, election week, Dave.
Yeah, you've got a removal of one of the big hurdles that people are talking about, and that is what's going to happen after the election. How is the market going to perform? And I would say, number one, let's take a look at history and how has it performed under certain circumstances. And since World War II, we've had a general upward trajectory of the equities market. Yeah, some sectors will do better than others. There's no doubt about that. You think about energy or healthcare or retail stocks. Those are important. But number one, let's look at this at the sense of history. I will tell you, in recent history, when President Obama won, my conservative friends said, oh my gosh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. And when Trump won, they said, well, Trump's going to blow up the world. Well, neither one of those things happened, and the equities market moved up. That's number one. Number two, you can put guardrails in your portfolio, Dan, to say, all right, let's set some aside, 5%, 10%, maybe even 20%, and set it aside, because with volatility becomes opportunity. And the last thing I would say is planning is super important. Obviously, we have tax law changes on the forefront. We have different ideas that can be put into place. So make sure your financial plan is in place, that you understand the estate planning ramifications, the income tax ramifications, and where there are opportunities. Dan, this is what we do on a daily basis.
And that's why you really do need to have a steady hand to guide you with objective, rational thought and someone who knows what they're doing, but is also working with and for you as a fee-only fiduciary. That's why you go to annexwealth.com and get that wealth metric. For Dave Spano, he is the CEO of Annex. I'm Dan O'Donnell. Thanks for listening to This Week with Annex Wealth Management.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
What if you want a side of Weber with your Sunday brunch? Or you need a dose of O'Donnell during your kids' Saturday track meet? Or even have a belling craving at 3 in the morning? There's one prescription for all of it. The covey of WISN podcasts perched at newstalk1130.com. Full shows from your favorite hosts, completely on demand, anytime, anywhere. That means the audio boss is your favorite person. You. Feast on the podcasts at newstalk1130.com.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Coming up in 17 minutes, at least, we are scheduled to hear from President Biden for a proof of life, or, White House address to the nation following former president and now President-elect Donald Trump's resounding victory. And that's what it was, folks. Inasmuch as a presidential election can be a landslide in what I think is an increasingly, politically at least, polarized nation, Trump won a landslide. 312 electoral votes. He's going to have a popular vote margin of about 5 million. Republicans have already clinched the Senate. It is looking very, very good for Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania. Do you want to know how good Trump is performing in these swing states? He may actually drag Kari Lake across the finish line. Lake was polling 10 points down. I think it's still very unlikely, but because Arizona counts votes in geologic time, whereas a state like Florida that's competently run gets all of its results results in an hour and a half. We wait weeks for states like Arizona, California to get final results. So we're not really going to know. In a totally unrelated story, I want to run some numbers by you, folks. Okay? These are vote totals from the past 20 years of Democratic presidential candidates. 2004, John Kerry, 59 million votes. Raw votes across the country. Total votes cast. 2008, Barack Obama, 69.5 million votes. 2012, Obama again, 65.9 million votes. 2016, Hillary Clinton, an identical 65.9 million votes. Joe Biden, 2020, 81 million votes. 2024, Kamala Harris, 67 million votes, a number that is likely to go up by give or take 500,000 to 1 million votes when all of the votes are counted. Democrats have been in a consistent range for the past 2 decades of about 65 to 69 million votes. Yet somehow they got 81 million votes in 2020. Pollster Mark Mitchell, who now runs Rasmussen Reports, after Scott Rasmussen sold, he now has his own consulting company that he primarily works. I don't even think Rasmussen does a whole lot of public polls. He just has private clients, candidates, and think tanks and so forth. Mitchell tweeted out, I think yesterday afternoon, he said, Democrat vote totals declined by 20% across the country in 2024. In a total coincidence, 20% of voters reported getting multiple mail-in ballots sent to their home in 2020. My favorite reactions, my absolute favorite reactions to Donald Trump's victory are liberals who claim it's a conspiracy that about 55 million Democrat voters just disappeared from 2020 to 2024. Folks, they are so close to figuring out. They are so close. John Pavlovitz, this is a tweet from yesterday. He is the author of If God is Love, Don't Be a Jerk. He's a prominent leftist on Twitter. Really not trying to stoke conspiracy, but is it really feasible that Dem enthusiasm at near Obama levels, an insurrection, the fall of Roe, Trump's SCOTUS immunity deal, and Project 25 really yielded 15 million fewer blue voters? Yes, John. Where did all of those Democrat voters, or at least Democrat votes, go? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time now for another epic Trump meltdown. This woman on Twitter calling for all women to go on a sex strike because men voted overwhelmingly for Trump.
Donald Trump is president, and I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years in protest and protection of your bodies. As we know, if that little baby inside you gives you any trouble and you need an emergency health care, you're f***ed and you're gonna die. I think that is sufficient enough reason to stop having sex. Don't you agree? This vote wasn't a vote for Americans. This vote was for men. And unless we want to become the Handmaid's Tale, then us women need to protest because this is some buttery bullshit. I'm sorry to the women and minorities who aren't going to get the help that they need in the next 4 years. I'm sorry for the people who are impoverished who are just going to keep dying from starvation and lack of health care and lack of governmental support.
Yes, the left is really not handling this at all. More epic Trump meltdowns throughout the show. The unhinged liberal, the ultimate meltdown, coming up next.
You know, autumn leaves, they're beautiful until they start clogging up your gutters. You're busy enough this season without having to get up on a ladder, that horrible, dirty job, and clean out your gutters. Whether you're tired of unclogging your gutters or you don't even know what they look like, well, it's time for a permanent solution to protect your biggest investment, your home, and that is Leaf Filter. And right now you can save up to 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilteroneword.com/Hannity. Now, clogs aren't just a nuisance. They can cause extensive water damage. Let Leaf Filter's trusted pros help protect your home from flooding, roof damage, rotting siding, foundation issues, and much more. They're going to clean out, realign, seal your gutters before they even install Leaf Filter and their award-winning patented technology. Never get on a ladder and clean out those gutters again with Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system. Get your free inspection up to 30% off your entire purchase. Go to leaffilter.com/Hannity. That's leaffilter.com/Hannity today. See representative for warranty details.
And that's the best thing about Capital's Furnace Beyondification.
Absolutely.
I agree. Hey, Merle, what you got? What's this? A screenplay?
Let me see this. Captain Capital, Heat and Air Hero.
That's so awesome, Merle.
Hang on. I've been writing a screenplay like this.
For years.
It's an epic, and it's Capital Man, not Captain Capital. Yes, of course he restores your furnace to like new condition.
Says here, Captain Capital has a deep clean device.
Aha! Capital Man deep cleans your system with his laser beam hands.
What?
I'm developing a sidekick. He always does a comprehensive safety checks. You wrote yourself in as the sidekick?
As long as it gets across how Capital's Furnace Beyondification saves the day.
And how you want to do it before winter hits.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's what I'm saying.
Then it's great.
Laura, Seth, I need a moment with Merle, please.
Schedule your Furnace Beyondification today at callcapitalcares.com.
Join News Talk 1130 this Saturday at 4 p.m. for The Word on Medicine, the show that brings you the latest medical innovations and discoveries by physicians and scientists at the Medical College of Wisconsin. That's Saturday afternoon at 4 on News Talk 1130, WISN.
I talk about repairing before replacing because the savings in some cases are ridiculous. And here's a prime example. Not too long ago, we get a call to come out for a quote on a new window, but the customer asks us, hey, if you can fix it, please do, but I don't think you can. I've had 2 other companies out here and both of them told me it can't be done. Well, our guy takes a look at the window, installs the necessary new parts, and $225 later, the window is as good as new. The customer's jaw dropped because in his hands was an absurdly high quote for over $12 grand. If we had to replace it, our quote would have been around $6. But the moral of the story is, when you have the right people out, you get the results you want, and it can save you real money. This is David Wilhelm. Now, some window problems can't be fixed, but when we can fix it, we will. And that's why Lisbon Storm Screen and Door is your clear choice for more.
Your clear choice for more. Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Find out more at lisbonstorm.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED. And it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
iHeartRadio is your #1 app for the holidays. Just open the app and search Holiday and start listening now. You'll see your local holiday radio station, plus all kinds of other holiday stations, playlists, and podcasts. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z in the Dan O'Donnell Show bumper music rotation. Kind of wonder how J and B are doing with Donald Trump as president. Actually, Beyonce is probably just fine because by all accounts, she got millions of dollars from the Kamala campaign, which raised $1 billion. Folks, they are now $20 million in debt, and Democrats are furious, asking, what did they spend their money on? Well, the answer was celebrity endorsements, celebrity performances. What, do you think Glorilla and Flo Milli were performing in West Allis last week out of the goodness of their hearts? No, those things cost money. But just like Hillary Clinton in 2016, Kamala learned a very hard lesson. America does not listen to movie and music stars for political opinions. All day today, we have been playing epic Trump meltdowns. We, of course, have more throughout the show. It is time now, though, to get to our daily segment, the biggest Trump meltdown of the entire day. Time to name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
All white people are racist. Trump is dangerous because he's evil. America is in over.
Today's unhinged liberal of the day is late night host Jimmy Kimmel, who, along with Stephen Colbert over on CBS, turned their shows into what Stephen Miller, the great writer and Twitter personality, put it, late night group therapy for libs. Well, Kimmel was so upset during his show last night, obviously the first show that aired following the knowledge that Trump had won a second term. His opening monologue was tearful.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go. For healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet. And most of all,
no, I actually realize exactly what a Trump presidency means for me. I also realize that Jimmy Kimmel is your unhinged liberal of the day. Where do shows like Kimmel's and Stephen Colbert's and Saturday Night Live, where is their primary audience, right? It's libs who need late night group therapy, but in what states? The blue states, right? What if I told you that the bluest states in America all shifted radically towards Trump? Chris Cillizza, formerly of CNN, I'm not actually sure where he works now, probably just as a newsletter or a Substack. Oh, sure enough, I just clicked on his X bio. Subscribe to my daily politics newsletter. He actually crunched the numbers. In New Jersey, Trump lost by 16 points in 2020. He lost by 5 in 2024. In California, Trump lost by 29 points in 2020. He lost by 17 points in 2024. In New York, Trump lost by 23 points in 2020. He lost by 12 in 2024. In Illinois, Trump lost by 17 in 2020. He lost by 8 in 2024. Those are the bluest states in the entire country, save for the west coast of Washington and Oregon and California. Actually, he included California. Each one of them showed between a 9 and 12-point shift toward Trump. Those are also some of the most diverse states in the country, some of the states with the heaviest Latino and Black populations in the entire country. The numbers are saying something. No, the numbers are screaming something. Too bad only conservatives seem to be listening. President Biden addresses the nation next here on The Dan O'Donnell Show.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Tad Allen. Wisconsin hits a record number of voters in the November election. Unofficial results released by the Wisconsin Elections Commission show that around 3.4 million people, or 72.6% of eligible voters in the state, cast ballots for the contests. Though the state topped its all-time total number of voters, the percentage of voters was below the 72.9% seen in 2020 and the 2004 rate of 73.2%, which the commission says was the highest state turnout since at least 1948. Molson Coors will close the Leinenkugel's brewery in Chippewa Falls. That move will end more than 150 years of brewing in the northwest Wisconsin city where Leine's was born. Molson Coors will close the Chippewa Falls Brewery and Leinenkugel's 10th Street Brewery in Milwaukee effective January 17th. That's according to a company statement. More than 50 workers are expected to lose their jobs in Chippewa Falls. Israeli strikes on Lebanon killed 40 people around the city of Baalbek yesterday. The Lebanese health ministry says more strikes at dusk hit Beirut's southern suburbs. Though Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah have exchanged fire for over a year, fighting has escalated since last September. Lebanese media reported at least 4 strikes today. There are no immediate reports of casualties or details on what was hit. Checking the holiday automotive of Fond du Lac Sports scoreboard, the Bucks are back in action tonight hosting the Utah Jazz at the Fiserv Forum. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Allen on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Where the heck is everybody?
Beg your pardon?
I'm at your store and...
Yes?
Nobody's here.
That's because Hasselus mattress showrooms are employee-free. Take your time and test our selection of Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Yeah, sure, you say that, but come on.
What?
Where the heck is everybody?
Hasselus really is employee-free.
Okay.
So we can sell mattresses for way less, like the Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove Bead Queen. Others sell it for $12.99, but Hasselus has it for $8.42. Plus, check out our super low pricing on Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, and more.
Yes, but...
And through Monday, get an extra $248 credit just for shopping local.
Well, that's great, but I just have one question.
What's that?
Where the heck is everybody?
Open 9 to 9. Find an honest-to-goodness, employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com. Hasselus, employee-free since 2014.
Here's the latest forecast presented by AdventKnows.com from the Fox 6 weather experts.
A beautifully sunny Thursday and a little milder with a high near 58. Light breeze out of the northwest turning west today. Overnight tonight, clear, dropping down to the upper 30s. From there, just a few clouds for our Friday and a high near 58. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by the Byrna Less Lethal Launcher. How are you preparing to protect your family from the increase in crime? The Byrna Launcher can stop an attacker in their tracks. Don't compromise on safety. Byrna is legal in all 50 states. No background checks or permits required. And it's shipped right to your door. Visit Byrna.com. That's BYRNA.com.
This is Michael Lynch from Lynch Truck Center. For the first time ever, Lynch Truck Center is having a massive construction sale on over 400 in-stock trucks, which include Chevrolet, GMC, Hino, and Isuzu. You will not want to miss it. We're adding parking, 7 more truck bays, and expanded parts storage so we can better serve you, our customer. Did you know our experienced sales staff sold more Chevrolet medium-duty trucks and cab-overs than all the other dealers in the state combined? With their knowledge on upfits, combined with our service department, we deliver turnkey vehicles for your business, including the right body for your application, bin packages, and even lettered when it's delivered right to your door. As a business owner, has managing your fleet grown into a full-time job? Our fleet department can help. We provide a free fleet analysis which guides you when to trade, help track expenses for maintenance, fuel, and even vehicle tracking. You'll be shocked on the money and time you can save, not to mention having new vehicles under warranty. Visit LynchTruckCenter.com and give us a shot. We won't disappoint you.
Ever feel like you're playing hide and seek with the store employees while shopping for your home renovation?
Hey, can I get some help here?
Skip the hassle and head to Granite Plus for experts who know granite, Cambria, cabinets, and flooring. Granite Plus gives you personalized expertise and affordability with 0% financing available. Visit Granite Plus in New Berlin today and say goodbye to the big store confusion. Granite Plus, better design, service, value. Make your home the perfect gathering spot today.
Thank you, WISN listeners, for trusting your car repairs to Engine and Transmission Exchange. ETE has 2 locations with A-plus ratings from the Better Business Bureau. One is on South 27th Street in Milwaukee, the other on West Avenue in Waukesha, and they work on any make or any model. See enginetrans.com for details. Engine and Transmission Exchange.
Need to sell your home fast? Metro Milwaukee Homebuyer can help you with that. Get cash for your home quick, no matter the reason you're selling it or the condition it's currently in. Visit MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com and find out about how you can sell your home fast for cash.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Join News Talk 1130 this Saturday at 4 p.m. for The Word on Medicine, the show that brings you the latest medical innovations and discoveries by physicians and scientists at the Medical College of Wisconsin. That's Saturday afternoon at 4 on News Talk 1130, WISN.
Be sure to listen to the NX Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. NX provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Our favorite 4-letter word. Free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Donald Trump has now been convicted of 34 different felony crimes.
Gunfire, former President Trump's campaign rally in Butler County. Investigators calling it a possible assassination attempt.
I proudly accept your nomination for president.
President Biden has just announced that he is ending his re-election bid.
There's been another assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
Thank you for joining us for tonight's ABC News presidential debate.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
Early voting kicked off today.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
Coming up in just a couple of minutes here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, we will hear from the 46th president. I mean, in theory, he is still president, right? I mean, it's Joe Biden. I would rather hear from the nameless, faceless cabal of 30 and 40-something they-thems who have actually been running the country for the last nearly 4 years. But I guess we'll take a post-election speech from Biden. I don't know if this is going to be an Oval Office address. I don't know if this is going to be in the White House briefing room. I haven't really been paying attention too much to that. If it goes on longer than 20 minutes, which... Come on, let's face it, it's probably not going to go on longer than about 6 minutes. Given Biden's mental state right now, we'll dip away from it. But I do want to air as much of it as possible, primarily because I have been subsisting on black coffee and liberal tears pretty much since midnight on Tuesday night. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. If you'd like to join us, 414-799-1130, 1-800-838-9476. Email me, DOD@iHeartMedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X. Watch the show streaming live. Please do retweet it. Also on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show. Give us a share and give us a follow. Give us a like on YouTube. Just search for Dan O'Donnell or Dan O'Donnell Show. Now that the election is over, we'll be working on improving the video product The Dano Cam, I believe, needs a little bit of a retooling, maybe some new graphics, maybe a new digital background. I've got a whole lot of stuff in the works for you. Right now, Fall Fortune Cash Contest word this hour is credit, C-R-E-D-I-T. Credit. You have got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword credit. Now, some people may think that I'm rubbing it in or being mean by playing unhinged liberals and Trump meltdowns and things like that, and saying things that, like, I have been subsisting on liberal tears. When Democrats are saying, folks, please understand that other people are going through something right now. There is a member of the local media, and she isn't a news reporter, so I don't want to embarrass her. I thought about, she tweeted out, so this is not like a private thing that I was privy to. Yeah. Dave is very disappointed. Why? Because you think she's pretty? Yes, it is. I told Dave off the air. He goes, you got to tell me who it is. I told him who he is. He goes, this is his honest to God. Aw, the only reason is because he thinks she's pretty and he's sad that she's an unhinged lib. No, I said she was a member of the media. She's not a news reporter, though. Oh, okay. That's what, yeah, Dave said it's because he wouldn't have known her politics because she does something that isn't. It's totally because you think she's pretty. Angie, I'm texting your wife right now to tell you about this if she's not listening. I got her email. I've got her cell phone, Dave. You don't need to give me, you said Angela Michaels at, I'm like, yeah. She tweets out, just be aware that a lot of people are hurting right now, and you need to react with grace and kindness. I don't recall anybody treating me with grace or kindness the morning after the 2020 presidential election, the morning after the 2022 gubernatorial election, or the 2018 gubernatorial election, the 2023 state Supreme Court election. I do not recall anybody say, won't we think of poor Dan O'Donnell's feelings? What about all those conservatives? Be kind, be graceful. They're dealing with something. Hell, I'm dealing with something right now. I know he is not yet conceded. Eric Hovde has lost, most likely, his Senate race because of Tammy Baldwin legally stole a Senate race by funding a fake candidate. And frankly, you people who were deeply involved in Voss Recall 2 moronic boogaloo, who all lined up in support of Thomas Leaguer. There's something called Hot Government down there, run by some buffoon whose name I forget. They're all in on Thomas Leaguer because Hovde is a rhino. All you libertarians who voted for Phil Anderson, that was 70,000 votes between them. 70. Eric Hovde might lose this race by 24,000 votes. By the way, less than the number. The margin between Eric Hovde and Tammy Baldwin right now is less than the number of votes that the fake Constitution or America First candidate Thomas Leaguer got. And you idiots were stupid enough to buy a Democrat dirty trick. Democrats funded Thomas Leaguer. Democrats were running advertisements for Phil Anderson, and it worked. It worked. Let that sink in. All of you people, and anybody, by the way, who is telling, well, the Republicans, that's not the real conservative movement. You got to vote for a guy who's probably funded by Democrats. Duh. Anybody should never again be taken seriously. I don't care if all they have is a Facebook account. If they are influencing other people to vote for someone who is not a Republican to own the fake conservatives, all they are doing is contributing to Democrat victories, and Eric Hovde is Exhibit A. This is a man who would be a fantastic senator Wisconsin would be proud of its congressional and Senate delegation with Ron Johnson and Eric Hovde. Eric Hovde would have been, and who knows, maybe will still be, but I'm not holding out hope. He would be a Ron Johnson clone. He would have his fingers in everything. He is a hard worker. He's just a good human. I actually hope if the Senate race, if eventually he does concede and the votes just aren't there, and, I do hope that the Trump administration finds a position for him because he is, I am just so impressed with him, not necessarily as a politician or a businessman, but as a person. We did together an hour of radio where his only rule was he was not allowed to talk about politics, which I am actually strongly considering turning into a standalone podcast called No Politics with Dan O'Donnell, where we get political figures and we talk about anything but politics. You just talk about your life. You talk about sports. You can talk about anything you want to. I don't really care. Just not politics. He was so inspiring in his discussion of his battle with MS and how that shaped his life and shaped his philosophical outlook. I mean, regardless of his politics, the fact that someone who battled so hard, someone who has been dealt such a bad blow and who had such a great outlook on it and said, look, everybody has their cross to bear. This is mine. And who literally changed his life so much, changed his lifestyle, changed his workout regime, changed his diet, changed everything, that he beat back multiple sclerosis into remission through almost sheer force of will. You're telling me this isn't somebody who you'd want in the United States Senate or a Trump administration? On the other side, we've got the laziest human being known to mankind who shows up every 6 years and begs for your vote after having done nothing. I don't think I could. Tammy Baldwin had to run ads lying about bills that she introduced. Her commercials were abject lies. They were lies. Remember the Yahoo boomer lib that they got? Tammy Baldwin got Donald Trump to sign a bill and Biden to make it permanent to show how good she was at reaching across it. She didn't write that bill. She didn't do it. She had nothing to do with it. She signed it, or she voted for it. She was one of like 45 co-sponsors. She had nothing to do with it. I mean, just the dishonesty that they had to resort to running a fake candidate. But nobody is saying, won't someone think of the poor conservative? They are hurting. Dewey Strobel went down to defeat. Dewey Strobel, one of the best conservatives in the state Senate. Democrats gerrymandered his seat to the point where some just random generic liberal wine aunt named Jody Habush Sinekin of the Habush, Davis, and Rotier family. I don't even know what that law firm is called. Remember we said, did they have Rotier murdered? Or was it Davis? That all of a sudden the big sign on, 43? 94, it is. Yeah, you're right. It's on 94. The big sign on 94 was just like Habush, and Rotier. They just excised Davis from the sign. It's like they made him disappear, mafia style. Dewey Strobel went down to defeat. Is anybody calling for grace for Strobel and his supporters? Who else did we lose? Joan Ballweg went down to defeat another very good conservative because of Democrat Tony mandering. Nobody's calling for grace for us. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I will be posting each and every day for as long as I feel, multiple times per day, more Trump meltdowns.
Oh, no! No! I'm sorry! No! Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
No, I love you, lady. You are filling my heart with joy right now. Hopefully, President Biden, who is now 20 minutes late, as I predicted, will speak on the other side of this break. Hey, Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for my amazing friends at Built Right Furniture. Built Right's Veterans Day sale and Black November deals are on now. Their one location saves you time, money, and they make it easy to shop and easy to buy. Built Right beats any big box national or local chain store, department store, employee-free store, online retailer, or warehouse club because they have the guaranteed lowest prices. Built Right has the best value, selection, and most experienced team in Wisconsin. Over 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best mattress brands made in the USA: Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses that hold up to 600 pounds. Plus, Built Right offers free delivery and removal on mattress-only purchases of $799 or more. Built Right always saves you money. Shop Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Tell them Dan sent you to Built Right at 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word SECURE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility come crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold now. Text SECURE to the number 989898. That's SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
Here's why. Money. Warshevsky.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.
The free iHeartRadio app loaded up with holiday cheer. Listen to iHeart Christmas playing nonstop holiday music commercial free. Some might call it a Christmas miracle.
Christmas, I give you my heart.
iHeart Christmas is the perfect soundtrack to your holidays. Open the free iHeart app and search Holiday now. Free never sounded so good.
You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
We are, no surprise, still waiting for President Biden to address the nation. It is going to be from the Rose Garden outside the White House. I was wondering where the location was going to be. Oval Office, Rose Garden, that little fake set that they built across the street for him that was meant to look like the White House. Remember that a couple of years ago? Oh, my goodness. You know, I am going to miss the just Veep level comedy of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I really am. Not enough that I wish Harris would have won. That would have been an absolute nightmare. I was actually dreading, ladies and gentlemen, doing this radio show for 4 more years, having to listen to the Kamala Harris cackle. I've got a text here from a source that, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to name, but I think it's worth talking about. He is a Latino. He is also very conservative. He says, I think the big point to talk about when pointing the finger at Hispanics, as Democrats have, is that we forget the 3 most important leading factors why people immigrate to the United States. The first is financial, the second is education, the third is corruption. My dad told me this at an early age, which helped me stay grounded as a law enforcement officer. What I learned as I moved through the ranks is the large amount of public corruption our government is involved in. Mostly small, but it's still wrong. Ethics is the thing our elected officials often fail at, something we fail to pay attention to. And now we go to President Biden addressing the nation from the White House Rose Garden.
Good to see this cabinet and staff together. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to see you all. Particularly good to see my granddaughter sitting in the front row here. Hi, Finn. How are you, honey? For over 200 years, America has carried on the greatest experiment in self-government in the history of the world. And that's not hyperbole, that's a fact. We're the people. The people vote and choose their own leaders, and they do it peacefully. And we're in a democracy. The will of the people always prevails. Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory. And I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition. That's what the American people deserve. Yesterday, I also spoke with Vice President Harris. She's been a partner and a public servant. She ran an inspiring campaign, and everyone got to see something that I learned early on to respect so much, her character. She has a backbone like a ramrod. She has great character, true character. She gave her whole heart and effort, and she and her entire team should be proud of the campaign they ran. You know, the struggle for the soul of America, since our very founding, has always been an ongoing debate and still vital today. I know for some people, it's a time for victory, to state the obvious. For others, it's a time of loss. Campaigns are contests of competing visions. The country chooses one or the other. We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't love your neighbor only when you agree. Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature. I also hope we can lay to rest the question about the integrity of the American electoral system. It is honest, it is fair, and it is transparent. And it can be trusted, win or lose. I also hope we can restore the respect for all our election workers who busted their necks and took risks at the outset. We should thank them. Thank them for staffing voting sites, counting the votes, and protecting the very integrity of the election. Many of them are volunteers who do it simply out of love for their country. And as they did their duty as citizens, I will do my duty as president. I'll fulfill my oath, and I will honor the Constitution. On January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America. To all our incredible staff, supporters, cabinet members, all the people who've been hanging out with me for the last 4 years, God love you, as my mother would say. Thank you so much. You put so much into the past 4 years. I know it's a difficult time. You're hurting. I hear you and I see you. But don't forget all that we accomplished. It's been a historic presidency. Not because I'm president, because what we've done, what you've done. A presidency for all Americans. Much of the work we've done is already being felt by the American people, but the vast majority of it will not be felt over the next 10 years. We have legislation we passed that's just only now just really kicking in. We're going to see over $1 trillion worth of infrastructure work done, changing people's lives in rural communities and communities that are in real difficulty. because it takes time to get it done. And so much more it's going to take time. But it's there. The road ahead is clear, assuming we sustain it. There's so much we can get done and will get done based on the way the legislation was passed. And it's truly historic. You know, we're leaving behind the strongest economy in the world. I know people are still hurting, but things are changing rapidly. Together, we've changed America for the better. Now we have 74 days to finish the term, our term. Let's make every day count. That's the responsibility we have to the American people. Look, folks, you all know it in your lives. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. We all get knocked down. But the measure of our character, as my dad would say, is how quickly we get back up. Remember, a defeat does not mean we are defeated. We lost this battle. The America of your dreams is calling for you to get back up. That's the story of America for over 240 years and counting. It's a story for all of us, not just some of us. The American experiment endures. We're going to be okay, but we need to stay engaged. We need to keep going. And above all, we need to keep the faith. I'm so proud to work with all of you. I really mean it. I sincerely mean it. God bless you all. God bless America. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That is President Biden outside the White House talking about the results of the presidential election. And frankly, folks, I'm just going to be totally honest with you. That was one of the better speeches that I've seen Biden give in quite some time, especially when he said, Kamala has a backbone like a ramrod. Wait, what did he say exactly? You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Backbone like a ramrod. Is he just trolling at this point? What's going on now?
Classical conservatism.
Contemporary style.
This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Well, that's why you have to check out our website. We're pretty proud of our before and after photos because they show off just how good we really are. I can confidently say that whatever you bring us, we're going to use every bit of magic we have to turn it into a one-of-a-kind work of art. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. Mullally, finishing.com. If it's worth restoring, we're going to tell you. If it's not worth the cost of restoring, then we're going to give you an honest answer. You don't stay in the furniture finishing business for nearly 50 years unless you're honest and talented. Luckily, we're both, and that means all of your expectations will be met. So if you want only the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
I'm Dave Brownsdorf, president of Flawless Flooring. Realtor.com says depending on location and a few other factors, new hardwood floors add as much as 2.5% to home sale value, even if you plan to sell. Enjoy home more now while increasing your sale price with Flawless's LVP, hardwood, or amazing realistic, super wear-resistant modern laminate plank. Steamy wet dog and litter box aromas bother homeowners and buyers. But you say, Dave, we want the sound deadening and warmth underfoot of carpet? Our Delafield and New Berlin showrooms have countless style and combination flooring choices, including quality luxury carpet lines. Steamy stains and carpet stink, including pet fluids, wipe off Flawless Flooring's luxury vinyl plank and modern laminate plank, zero steam effortlessly. Our employee-only craftsmen meticulously refinish existing hardwood, even perfectly blending additional hardwood with existing. With Flawless's nothing down, zero interest financing, upgrade today and pay over 21 months. Sensory underload, Flawless Flooring. Flawless Flooring FloresFlooringLLC.com.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join Joe Brown for the Safe Money and Income Radio Show on Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Ben, your face is turning blue. Are you okay?
I'm fine, Nicole. Are you still wearing that silly thing?
What silly thing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ben had an idea to promote the Avery Bedroom Collection from Penny Mustard.
The Avery bedroom is gorgeous.
Sure is.
Its concave design stands out from the other furniture designs.
Sure does.
If the Avery bedroom was a lady, she'd have an hourglass figure.
See, I told you so, Arvid.
What's going on?
Ben thought that accentuating some of his own curves would be a good way to highlight the curves of the Avery bedroom.
Oh, no.
So he's been wearing...
Don't say it.
A girdle.
Oh, Ben.
What?
Are you in pain?
Not anymore. I lost feeling in my legs a couple hours ago.
Come see the curvaceous Avery Bedroom Collection with queen bed, 9-drawer dresser, mirror, and nightstand, starting at $53.80 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, host of the Designer Yard Show and owner of Brett Ochtenhagen's Seasonal Services. Allow me to start by apologizing for the use of a 4-letter word in this commercial. If you don't like 4-letter words, you might want to turn down your volume. All right, are we good? Snow. There, I said it. One of my duties at Seasonal Services is to plan for winter and the onslaught of snow and ice. Are you responsible for securing a snow removal and ice control contractor for your commercial property? Now is the time to act. If you wait, you may be too late to secure one of southeastern Wisconsin's best snow and ice removal contractors. So if you own or manage a commercial property in Waukesha or western Milwaukee counties, please call Brett Ochtenhagen's Seasonal Services. We have been providing snow removal and ice control services for 25 years, and we are really good at keeping your commercial property safe. 262-392-3444 or online at seasonalservices.com.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semperfi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi.
Celebrate the season with the very best Christmas music ever made with iHeart Christmas. Streaming commercial free right now on your free iHeartRadio app. From shopping, gathering with friends, or wrapping presents, iHeart Christmas is the perfect soundtrack to your holidays. Listen now, commercial free on your favorite smart speaker and the free iHeartRadio app. Just search Holiday. Free never sounded so good.
Yesterday, I also spoke with Vice President Harris. She's been a partner and a public servant. She ran an inspiring campaign, and everyone got to see something that I learned early on to respect so much, her character. She has a backbone like a ramrod. She has great character, true character.
Like a ramrod, eh? A lot of people are noticing on social media that this appeared to have been the happiest Biden has looked in months. Some might say the happiest he has looked since, I don't know, July 21st, the day that he was forced out. This is going to be something, I think, that Democrats are going to have to grapple with for a long time. Was it the right move to stage a coup against Biden? By the way, Did you see the picture of First Lady Jill Biden, or excuse me, Dr. Jill Biden? By the way, also, I am going to really look forward to January 20th when we no longer have to pretend that the First Lady is a medical doctor that you would require calling her doctor. Do you know what actual medical doctors want you to call them? My youngest brother is a medical doctor, an MD. He's a pediatrician down in Austin. We're so proud of him. I mean, he's just so incredibly, by far, the smartest out of us three brothers. My other brother is an absolute financial genius. The way he manages money is just brilliant. He's also a graphic designer and a musician. I was trained as a lawyer. I do radio and all of that. He's the smart. Do you know what he wants us to call him? Do you know what he wants people to call him? Pat. Right? Patrick. Call me. Medical doctors want you to call them by their name, not Dr. O'Donnell. Right? It's only the pompous college campus types. And it's the ones who are actually like PhDs in astrophysics. It'll be like, call me John, please. It's only the ones who have PhDs in gender studies that demand Dr. Jill Biden. A lot of people noticed that Dr. Jill was wearing a bright red pantsuit, sort of an odd choice, given that she is a Democrat first lady and the Republican color on Election Day is red. A lot of people noticed that. I think the Bidens they're beyond happy that she lost, frankly. I don't think Biden has ever liked Kamala. I've known for a fact, based on leaks and reporting, that Jill Biden despises Kamala because of the very first Democratic debate, one of the only that Kamala took part in back in 2019, because she was forced out of the race because of deep unpopularity before the Iowa caucuses. She didn't even make it to 2020, for goodness sakes. When she said, Vice President Biden, I was the little girl on that bus that you wanted to keep away from the white schools. Basically calling Biden a segregationist. Kamala really made an enemy that day. And ultimately, I think it was the intervention of Barack Obama over the summer, who finally was the one who came out and just told Democrats, look, it's not going to work. Incidentally, big what appeared to be shouting match. Nancy Pelosi and who is it that she was yelling at? Yes, it was Brazil. For some reason, I couldn't remember. Donna Brazil, big Democrat strategist. I believe she's on ABC. They were shouting at each other at Kamala's concession speech. Shouting. Pelosi and Barack Obama are believed to be the two big driving forces in getting Biden out of the race. Democrats now have to confront whether they did nothing except hopelessly fracture that party. Because I think there were a decent number of Biden voters who probably would have cast their ballots for Kamala. But I don't think we're nearly as excited or pumped up or would, bust down walls to try to campaign for her, because they were miffed that Biden was abandoned, that Biden was thrown overboard. Still, though, Alex Thompson on CNN reporting on election night that Democrats are furious at Joe Biden. Now, these are the Kamala Obama loyalists, I believe, because Biden announced that he was going to run for re-election instead of just handing the reins to Kamala after his first term.
A lot of Democrats are very angry at Joe Biden tonight because they feel that the decision to run again when he was 80 years old was very reckless and a very risky decision, a risky gamble that he lost. And then he basically swapped out, and he chose Kamala Harris, not just in 2020, but he chose her, basically gave her a $100 million head start when he endorsed her and gave her his campaign. Yeah. And, in some ways, while a lot of people want to say, well, Kamala was bad in an interview, and I just mentioned it before, it was bad in an interview with The View. She was bad in an interview with 60 Minutes. There are a lot of Democrats that are actually much more angry at Joe Biden tonight.
They shouldn't be. They absolutely shouldn't be. Now, I think Biden, can you tell me if Biden, I believe Biden would have done just as poorly as Kamala Harris. Because had the media not been explicitly instructed during that debate, I am convinced of it, because they all came out, they all said, oh my goodness, Joe Biden, this can't go on. They felt, remember Van Jones? Van Jones came out right after the debate on CNN, and he looked like someone had just shot his dog. He looked like he was in mourning. This was just sad for Joe Biden. The narrative went out that night that they have to dump him. That morning, June 27th, they were convinced, they were telling everyone who would listen that videos that Republicans were putting up of Biden wandering around confused were cheap fakes. Not deep fakes, cheap fakes. These were selectively edited videos that make Biden look like he's losing it. They weren't, obviously, but the media would have kept up the charade, and I'm sure a good percentage of people would have seen through it. I think the entire reason that Biden debated at all, this wasn't his idea. This was the power behind the throne, as I've always said, the nameless, faceless 30 to 40-something they-thems who actually control the levers of power in this country, as terrifying a thought as that is. They were the ones who were saying, and the Democratic Party and the people who thought that there was just no chance that Biden was going to get reelected, they wanted him to do this debate, knowing full well that he would probably fall flat on his face, that it would become apparent to everyone watching the debate that he was mentally diminished, that he couldn't possibly run for re-election or serve. Remember, the very first observation that I had on my show after was everybody was saying Biden needs to get out of the race. Biden can't run for president. He can't run for president. He's too mentally diminished. Nobody ever said Biden is too mentally diminished to actually be president, which was about the biggest admission that you could possibly make as a Democrat, that Democrat presidents don't actually run things, that we have a presidency by committee, and that Biden wasn't actually in charge of a single thing in his administration. But in that moment, it was designed to make people comfortable with the idea that Biden should just be unceremoniously dumped and that a new candidate should take over. Now, when it became apparent that Kamala Harris was, the only one who would be able to legally inherit Biden's massive campaign war chest, you'll notice that the powers that be didn't even entertain the possibility of a Josh Shapiro or a Gretchen Whitmer or a Gavin Newsom. It's Kamala. Within an hour, Dave, we were on the air on that Sunday, July 21st, and already for an hour, we were talking about, well, here's what's going to happen. An hour after Biden announced via Twitter that he was resigning, he puts out an endorsement of Kamala Harris, he, air quotes, and that was it. And Democrats are all of a sudden coalescing. Kamala Harris had the support of a majority of delegates within about 14 hours of Biden resigning. There was never going to be an open primary. She was just selected. And now Democrats have to come to grips with the fact that that might have been a fatal decision, that you had a massive enthusiasm gap. Now, don't get me wrong. Democrats thought that all hope was lost with Biden, that if Biden didn't step aside, there was no way they were going to win. So in truth, it might have been worse, but I don't think by much. I don't think Democrats had a prayer of holding on to the Senate. Now, the House is still up for grabs, but the fact that Republicans are running close seems to me to be a pretty good indicator of where this country always was going to vote. Do you know Republicans now have a majority of governorships, a majority of state legislatures? They've got a substantial majority in the Senate. By the way, it does appear that Sam Brown, very, very talented war hero candidate from Nevada, is going to go down to defeat to the incumbent Democrat Jackie Rosen. So this race is for the Senate. The size of the majority is now down to Pennsylvania, which I'm not sure has been called yet, but David McCormick. I would much rather be McCormick right now than Michigan. I don't believe is called, but Slotkin is going to hold that seat for Democrats. Rogers ran a very good campaign, but unfortunately the margins were tight for Trump, and the coattails were only so long. These candidates running even 0.5% behind Trump probably doomed them in their states, but nonetheless, and you have this phenomenon of the Trump-only voter. You have a whole lot of people who only fill out their ballot for Trump and either leave the other things blank or they vote for moronic third-party candidates like Thomas Leaguer in the U.S. Senate race. Folks, Democrats, by the way, are going to see what happened in the Wisconsin Senate race as a viable strategy moving forward. They funded the candidates on the Republican side in primaries across states in 2022 that they thought would be the easiest to beat. They literally were donating millions of dollars and running ads on behalf of those candidates in order to get Republicans to be stupid and not pick the better of the two candidates. It's how we ended up with Herschel Walker and Dr. Oz in races that were eminently winnable in Georgia and Pennsylvania. And Eric Hovde, who was a great candidate, might go down to defeat because Democrats were pushing the candidacy of the libertarian Phil Anderson and actually installed and funded the fake conservative Thomas Leaguer. Dan O'Donnell's show going to step aside for a second in just a couple of minutes. More intelligent discourse, irreverent fun, and yes, another epic Trump meltdown coming up.
This week on Living Your Light, Daryl and Edith share a lesson in numbers.
You know, 70 is the new 30.
Is it? I was never good at math.
And the gang has a heart-to-heart.
65 and still making new friends. Golly.
It's independent living at the Marcourt, an Illuminous community. Check out themarcourt.org or call 920-206-4663 to schedule a tour today. Illuminous. Live your light.
Are you going to the big store to remodel your home? 1 minute they're pruning roses. The next, recommending countertops. Yikes! Discover affordable beauty at Granite Plus. Visit with friendly experts. Granite, Cambria, cabinets and flooring. Endless colors and designs. Custom creations just for you. Skip the hassle. Visit the showroom at Granite Plus in New Berlin today. All affordable, all professional, with 0% financing available. Granite Plus. Better design, service, value.
Join News Talk 1130 this Saturday at 4 p.m. for The Word on Medicine, the show that brings you the latest medical innovations and discoveries by physicians and scientists at the Medical College of Wisconsin. That's Saturday afternoon at 4 on News Talk 1130, WISN.
Hi, Bob Pucci for the Take Kid Hunting Foundation. We're having the Waukesha Gun Show this weekend at the Waukesha Expo next to the airport. Show hours are Friday from 3 p.m. to 8, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sunday 9 to 3. Admission is $8, 14 under are free.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at ACCUNET.com.
Life's a journey, and Russ Darrow is revving up for the ride. Russ Darrow and the places you'll go. Head to russdarrow.com to explore how they can help you get to your next adventure.
How long have you been living with that joint pain? You're calling it an old sports injury or just old age, but you just don't have to live with it. Jay Weber here saying it took me too long to figure that out. If you're someone who's experiencing spine or musculoskeletal pain or shoulder, hip, or knee pain, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. They're the doctors and techs that I trust with my shoulder problems. I've had issues for years, and there's not enough damage to warrant surgery, so Ortho Wisconsin helps me manage the pain. Their clinicians, physicians, and surgeons are committed to providing the highest quality joint care and handle everything from simple strains and tears repairs to sports injuries to managing degenerative diseases to complex joint replacements. In fact, Orthopedic Associates specializes in same-day total joint replacements at their ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee, and lesser treatments like physical therapy can be done at the Pewaukee, Brookfield, and New Berlin locations. Based on my experiences, you will be impressed with Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin and their staff. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Want to sell your house fast for cash? Don't waste time listing your home. With Metro Milwaukee Homebuyer, get a fair cash offer. Choose your own closing date. No commissions or repair costs. We buy houses for cash, any condition, anywhere in Milwaukee. Go to MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com.
Wisconsin's most listened to radio station. News Talk 1130 WISN.
Police officer and K-9 handler Jacob Russell Chaffins was fatally shot while attempting to serve warrants for domestic violence offenses. And thanks to friends like you and your generosity, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave the Chaffins family the gift of a mortgage-free home. There's so much more to do and to say thank you to our nation's heroes and their families for their immense sacrifices, all for us. Donate $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org. You know, the big wireless companies want you to overpay for data that you don't need, but you don't have to settle for that with Pure Talk. Well, you get to choose how much data that you actually want. And for $25 a month, you'll get unlimited talk, unlimited text. You're going to get mobile hotspot, 5 gigs of data. Go with Pure Talk, and you get to choose how much data you actually want. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword save now, and if you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month from Pure Talk.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Welcome back. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show. Each and every day, multiple times per day, we are playing the most epic Trump meltdowns from liberals who just can't fathom that he won the election. This one might be my favorite thus far. It was sent to me by a listener via the adventknows.com talk and text line. A woman who on election night was worried that she would, the following morning, wake up a slave.
Yo, I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up a motherfucking slave.
On Disney Plus.
Y'all, like, why are y'all Trump supporters? Like, why?
No. This is a fraud.
Why are y'all Trump supporters? Like, why is this a thing right now? Why is this okay?
If you have an epic Trump meltdown that you've seen from X, from TikTok, please don't hesitate to. Best way to do it is to email me a link, dod@iheartmedia.com. You can DM me on Facebook as well. You can text. We just get so many texts on the adventknows.com talk and text line, especially if I'm not on the air. There's a good chance I won't see them. I saw them all day long when I was counting up your early votes. And again, thank you once again. State's largest early vote drive, obviously a pretty big success as we helped carry Trump over the finish line. Unfortunately, Eric Hovde does not look like he is going to prevail, that Tammy Baldwin is going to go back to Washington and do nothing for another 6 years. How did Democrats so misread the American people? For the answer, let's go to Joy Reid, who just couldn't believe that the celebrity endorsement of Queen Latifah wasn't enough to boost Kamala.
Anyone who has experienced or been in the United States for any period of time and experienced this country's history and knows it cannot have believed that it would be easy to elect a woman president, let alone a woman of color. Let's just be clear. And nothing that was true yesterday about how flawlessly this campaign was run is not true now. I I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. She had every prominent celebrity voice. She had the Taylor Swiftie to the Swifties. She had the Beehive. Like, you could not have run a better campaign in that short period of time.
How the Swifties, the Beehive, Queen Latifah. Do you people not respect the Queen Latifah endorsement? You're just too racist and sexist. I suppose I should be celebrating the fact that Democrats don't seem to really understand what's going on here, but I kind of hope they do, because that would fundamentally push that party to the right. They would get them to abandon the utter craziness that has fully engulfed their party, especially since 2020. Friday edition of the Dan O'Donnell Show. More epic Trump meltdowns on the way tomorrow. We will talk to you then.
News that's factual, fair, and